We're back. The
We
fan
are.
says 28 degrees.
Yeah, it's so hot, and I'm suffering, man.
And you've come from Florida.
Yeah, it was hot over there, but everywhere had air conditioning, so at least if you were sat in a house, it was fine.
Yeah, whereas the closest we've got is this tower fan, and it's good.
Yeah, he's doing the job.
It's doing a good part of the job.
Yeah, it'd be better if we had like two where we could just like have it fixed and
pointing directly.
Yeah, just
at us.
one each. Just like, oh god. Because every time it comes round, it's great. When it goes away, I'm sad.
It feels like betrayal.
Yeah, I'm like, don't turn away from me, fan. But yeah, so
shall we do a podcast?
That's probably not a bad idea.
Hello, and welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
And I'm hungover Cal.
Is that just your name now?
Well, it's absorbing my entire life currently. Yeah, I drank too much last night. Basically, that's what happened.
I'm sure they could have deduced that from your... I mean, it's an on-point nickname.
Yeah. It's very current, and tomorrow it'll be different. I'll just be back to Standard Cal.
Standard Cal. Yeah. That's what they call you on the street.
There he is, Standard Cal.
Standard Cal.
Yep.
Look at his normal proportions.
Yeah, but it does also mean that I am the standard that all other Cals have to live up to.
Well, there you go.
So
So we haven't watched any cartoons in a month.
I know.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I think that it's distorted my normal vision a bit. Like, I'm starting to get kind of not quite hallucinating cartoons about the place, but just withdrawal.
Your worldview has definitely been altered by the last year of this.
Yeah.
We
I'm noticing.
took a little
more
break.
things.
We're calling this season 2. We didn't think we were going to have seasons at
But
the
here we
start,
are.
but basically, we did a year, and that coincided with when Cal had to go away for a bit. So it was
it
just
was like, well, there you go.
oh, let's call it season 2 then.
Just come back.
Welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of the Space Jam Continuum. If you're starting here, the last couple of episodes we did were like catch-up episodes that give you the story so far. So, once we get into the cartoons, we're going to be diving pretty straight in with a lot of assumed knowledge. So, if you don't have that knowledge, and believe me when I say, if you haven't listened to the podcast before, you don't.
Yeah, you really need to be listening back to those just so you have a basic understanding of like terminology that we use and just the way the story's at, because you're not going to get it otherwise. Yeah,
so though the previous two are a sort of catch up on the story, there's also a bunch throughout called the Tooniversal Glossary, which covers some of the concepts if you want to get involved with those. But largely we're going to launch in without assuming. With assuming.
Yeah, that you
know where we're at.
Yeah, that Porky Pig is Porky the Fourth.
Yeah,
and there is a Porky the Third
at large.
Massive despot.
Yeah,
there's
things like that.
Like, you can't have just watched a couple of Looney Tunes cartoons and think, I reckon I'll know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, go back, give those a go, because the last 2 episodes just cover everything we've covered.
Yeah.
In quick succession.
Yeah. We don't watch any cartoons in it. We're literally just covering ground.
Yeah. If you're at the other end of the spectrum and you've been listening to the Space Jam Continue up until this point and missed our dulcet tones, I at least have been on some other podcasts. So if you need to fill your time listening to my sweet, sweet voice, I am over on Merely Role Players for the current season. And also am currently taking Rob from Kaiju.fm through some Wes Anderson films on the Prestige podcast, our sister podcast. I think that starts sometimes this week.
How's that going then? Is it going well?
He didn't hate the first one.
Oh, there you go.
That's all I've got so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can get him to not hate one out of any of them,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But shall we dive in?
I think we should, and we're diving in with a new character.
It's 1948.
It is.
So we're rocking about a decade of series.
Yeah, that will.
But we've only really got one point of reference there.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to speed up drastically. I think.
Absolutely, but not if we don't just crack on
with it. Yeah.
So we've got a new character coming in straight away with an old fave.
Yeah.
It's Bugs Bunny and Gruesome Gorilla in Gorilla My Dreams from January 3rd, 1948.
Probably just
Let's watch some moving pictures.
Let's do it.
some familiar faces.
Yeah. It was
nice.
nice to see Bugs back and not being
Just
horrid.
as soon as I heard his voice,
Yeah.
like it's
comfort zone,
and it's just an image of the sea with bits of carrot floating in it, and I was just like, here he is,
there he is,
here he is, he's my boy.
Yeah. So it was. We don't know why he's floating along in a barrel.
No, I've been thinking about this. Like, so the last time we saw him, he was working. Well, was either he was working in a restaurant with Elmer Fudd and hitting on celebrities,
Yeah.
or was Roger Rabbit. Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when in the year Roger Rabbit was, but I'm pretty sure it was summer.
Yes.
So like, I'm going with the last time we saw him was working in that restaurant with Elmer.
Yeah.
Now, like, my first thought, obviously, is that he's just somehow he got on some sort of escapade.
Yeah.
Like, wound up, just stranded in a barrel.
He didn't seem bothered.
It opened a lot, but like as I said, it opened a lot like when you've got like a new Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and
where it's just like,
you've seen them regenerate. They don't really have a companion, so there's just an episode where they just are somewhere, and it's like
and there's no real explanation.
Yeah,
as to
you
why.
open up mid situation, you don't worry about it.
Yeah, you just go okay.
But my problem with that as a notion was he was eating carrots, chucking them in the water, eating carrots, chucking them in the water.
Yeah. Did
he bring that many carrots? That's madness to me.
Unless it was a barrel full of carrots when he started,
or a barrel full of soil.
Yeah, we saw in the barrel though, and I didn't see any soil.
No, but I mean, it might have been a barrel full of carrots to start with, but he was eating them at quite a rate.
Yeah, well, I mean, like maybe by that point he'd seen land and went, okay, I don't need a ration anymore. Let's get these carrots on.
Okay, I'm on my way. It's just I'm trying to decide whether he has an agenda, because he normally does. He normally has an agenda.
Yeah.
And the rest of the episode didn't lead to me believing there could be any agenda to that whatsoever.
No.
But so the rest of the episode revolves around a gorilla couple, gruesome gorilla and his presumably wife, and his wife is upset that the stork hasn't visited and given them a baby.
Yeah,
presumably due to when Porky and Daffy were left in charge.
I wouldn't be surprised because they whiffed it.
They that business hard. During the Stork Strike of whenever that was,
and we ended up with Porky in Africa. For quite a while.
The Great Stork Strike of 1947.
Yeah, I know it well.
So we presume it's it's a runoff of that.
Yeah.
But Gruesome definitely doesn't want a kid. His wife finds Bugs in this barrel, slaps a baby costume on him, and adopts him as her own. And Bugs, says, I can go along with the gag, which, as previously discussed, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
He has to go along with the gag. He can't help himself.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice in the matter. It's not like, I will or I won't. It's like, but I think he's convinced himself that he has the option.
Yeah, that he's doing it because he's a fun-loving guy, not because he's got a crippling addiction.
Yeah, it is interesting to see that he still maintains that notion of, it's a choice. But it's kind of like, when people are smoking and they're like, I can quit whenever I want.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't. I don't think you can. But yeah, I think it's largely like that. I think Bugs thinks he's got control, but doesn't.
So, basically, the rest of the episode, when the wife brings Bugs home, he's aping around, as it were. Like, he's got his ape impression down.
He's pretty good at it.
He's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Which put me more towards, again, is this part of some scheme? Like, is he planned for this? But it's just that aside to the camera. I can go along with the gag.
Yes.
It was just like, maybe it's not part of a scheme.
Yeah, no, I think he's just found himself in that
Gruesome
situation.
doesn't like it. He goes, I'm going to take Junior out for a walk, and basically does his best to off Bugs, which
isn't going to work.
Isn't going to work.
Bugs.
So he's chucking him about and deliberately dropping him, and then Bugs is responding in kind, basically,
which is something Bugs is just really good at.
But not much really occurs beyond that. But they just tussle until Bugs wins, basically, and then it fades. So we don't know how that situation's resolved.
No, I mean,
because the
gorilla is going to come back.
Yeah.
But
because in our list, Gruesome Gorilla is listed as a character.
Yeah, and its first appearance of, which I'm assuming means there's at least one more.
Yeah, because it doesn't say first and last appearance of. But I don't know what it added. It puts I'm hoping we'll find out how this fits into Bugs' schemes, or how Bugs wound up there, because otherwise it doesn't really answer much.
No.
But, yeah, it was entertaining, but not a lot of data.
Yeah,
an interesting situation to start with, and in vibe, very much a nice way to start season 2.
Yeah,
it was
just easy.
It's like, he's stranded somewhere. It feels like we've missed some stuff. We've got some gaps to fill in.
Yeah.
And we're seeing direct repercussions of things we've seen before, namely the Stork Strike. But other than that,
it was a nice cartoon, but I think we should move on.
Yeah. Moving over to Texas. For a Goofy Gophers number from January 17th, 1948. 2 Gophers from Texas. Let's see what they're about.
Let's do
Have
that.
we had those before?
Yes.
Goofy Gophers, I vaguely remember.
Yeah.
They were ruining some crops and...
Yeah.
Was it Porky or Bugs? Porky or Bugs was involved in...
I think it was Porky.
Yeah, trying to stop it. Was that when they shot the moon?
Yes, I think it might have been when they shot the moon.
So let's see if there's a moon. Well, it seems like that delightful gay couple, the Goofy Gophers, have drawn the ire of a villainous thespian dog. Yeah,
it was interesting. Like, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so incredibly polite to each other.
They're very charming.
Yeah, they're just fantastic.
Yeah, and they just love food and dancing and the theatre, presumably.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I don't see how they would have drawn the ire of this thespian dog. I reckon they're maybe part of a theatre group.
Yeah, possibly.
They're more beloved than him.
Like the dog wanted to eat them. He'd read a book and was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna eat some wild animals, and he decided gophers was what he was going to do.
They never communicated directly, so we don't really have any guarantee that they're sort of super sentient, except that he's using utensils, he's reading a book, so it's like, we've got to presume he is.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And he's setting traps as well.
Yeah, and at that point,
traps.
I've got to think, he's got that thespian nature from somewhere.
Yes.
So, I don't know, they've got to operate within society to at least an extent, and we know that the Goofy Gophers live, near... settlements, because last time we saw them they were robbing a farm, they were nicking the veg off a farm.
Yeah, very expertly as well. From under the ground,
and
just
pulling
it in. Oh yeah, but they do everything politely. Yeah. As
they're lovable rogues.
Like the title confuses me though. 2 Gophers from Texas, because they didn't mention Texas at any point, and they didn't seem Texan at all,
and no one in it seemed Texan, and it didn't seem.
So as to why it's called 2 Gophers from Texas, I have no idea.
I mean, if they're from Texas, then I know. Was it Porky's farm last time? Was it Porky last time?
I'm sure it was Porky. Yeah.
Can we have can we just quickly scroll up there and have a look back, just to check? It can't have been that long ago. It was in the. There we go. It was Bugs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But Bugs is a cameo.
Yeah.
He wasn't in it much, was he?
Oh, then maybe it was just them. That was the previous Goofy Gophers. That's the only one we've had.
That's the only one. So
we've got to presume that was in Texas as well.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
So they're living, we don't know how solid it is, but something that was on the human side of the demarcation line previously.
Yes.
But yeah, Texas seems a weird choice because there's nothing there that suggests Texas to me.
No, other than the title, everything was enjoyable.
I was trying to work out if the dog was rolling his R's in the full on, just the proper posh, thespian villain way. But there was a Scottish tinge to it as well for me.
Yeah, he definitely had a slight Scottish accent.
He also said me own nourishment.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So some sort of Scottish dog, like David Tennant.
Yeah. Is now in Texas.
It's a dog's body.
Yeah.
Not a dog's body.
He's
in a dog's body. And then, these Goofy Gophers just giving him the runaround. But everything pointed to confirming that they're a delightful, charming gay couple.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting each other lovely gifts. Like, they're
talking about going to Tiffany's.
Yeah, they're talking about going to Tiffany's and Shaftesbury Avenue, and basically identifying. Did we ever find out what was in the box, or just that
it was a
delightful?
fist on a spring, because the dog opened it and got lamped in the head.
Oh yeah, but they were talking about it like it's a fine garment.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Which it may well be.
Yeah,
but it's also a punchy.
Yeah, it's a boxing glove on a spring.
And then, as soon as he tries to lure them in with music, they're having a nice dance together.
Yeah.
They've clearly done that a lot of times before because they're nailing it.
Yeah, and they massively enjoying it.
It's not just two people sort of grooving about.
No. That's full choreographed.
They've got steps.
Yeah. They know
which, again, leads me to believe they're part of some sort of
theatre group.
Theatre circuit upon which this dog isn't also doing so well. And isn't doing so well. So there's a rivalry set up there. He wasn't named, so
yeah. I don't think we're going to see him again. I am looking forward to seeing more of the Goofy Gophers, though.
Oh yeah, I really hope that they're in a lot. And I'd like to build. But we know when watching Goofy Gopher episodes, unless it states specifically otherwise, we're building a picture of Texas.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah. Again, it didn't seem like Texas, but Texas, their side doesn't have to look like Texas, our side.
Yeah, but also Texas doesn't all look like you're imagining Texas. No. It's just that that's like iconically Texas and, probably the rest of Texas.
Yeah.
But, we're building a picture of Texas with those Goofy Gophers. But let's see if this next Bugs number can shed any light on why he was there or what he was up to.
Yeah, Bugs is a difficult one, though, because he jumps about a lot.
He jumps about a lot, and we never know quite which Bugs we're seeing. What level of Bugs did we think we were seeing in the
last
gruesome gorilla?
I think it's probably going to be pretty high level.
I think it's quite high level, because he was just so chill about being stranded at sea in a barrel.
Super chill.
Yeah. Well, let's see which Bugs we're dealing with. It's the one Bugs. But
which
what
part of his timeline
Bugs we're dealing with. In A Feather in His Hair from February 7th, 1948. All right, sleepyhead.
Yeah, I know. What can I do?
Cal literally fell asleep before the end of that one. I had to wake him up.
It was. I reckon I missed 2 seconds right at the end.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Let's see what I remember. It's gonna be like the generation game.
Okay, so
teddy bear, got the toy.
Yeah, you're already way off. Yeah, that was the trick this time. No cuddly toy.
No cuddly toy. I knew they'd try and catch me out.
Right, so this has a Native American hunting rabbit. Unsurprisingly, runs into Bugs, and it's mainly Bugs sort of evading capture by this Native American until he doesn't.
Yeah, like just going, he's over here. This is where the rabbit is, and Elmer falls for this as well.
Yeah,
how do they know Bugs is a rabbit, because they're hunting him initially, but then he always manages to convince them that he's not, and that the rabbit they're looking for is somewhere else.
Yeah, although he seems to know at this point of everyone in the tune of...
Shut up, Siri.
Why do you allow Siri to yell at you from your phone?
These things happen, man. At least Alexa isn't piping up today.
Yeah, that's true. I thought she was going to then.
One of them will.
So Bugs seems to know by this point of most people in the Tooniverse's inability to identify animals.
Yeah.
He seems to monopolise on it, because in the gruesome gorilla sort of one,
my baby gorilla.
He knew he could pass as a gorilla just by mannerisms alone.
Yeah.
And in this one, he knows that he can very easily distract someone by just putting a load of signs around another hole saying there's a rabbit here. Also, it says there's a hare there. I think that's the first time we've seen it in an episode, just them synonymously using
mixing them up.
Rabbit and hare. Got a few notes in this episode, because they're not plot specifics.
No, but there was some interesting things.
The episode, but there was definitely some interesting things. Yeah. One, and I've sort of been taking note of it for a while, but it's happened enough now and in quick succession that I'm actually going to remember to talk about it. Bugs, the start of the episode is often Bugs singing singing a song, and it's normally, of the time.
Yeah.
he's very careful with his music choices to not accidentally
start singing a song from the future.
Bioshock Infinite. And, bring songs back. Like, he's always really careful. It's always very contemporary.
Yeah, well, I mean, like maybe he's made that mistake before and has had to correct it, and it's just been a right hassle. And he's just like, I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah. So he nipped to the future. He got a list of like number ones.
Yeah.
From all time. And he just sticks to those, the appropriate era.
Yeah, he checks and goes, right, which one is it this week? Okay, I'll sing this.
I just noticed that because it was the same at the start of the Gruesome Gorilla episode, and I started thinking, what, like, I wonder if we can use those to pinpoint when he's from.
Yes.
And no, he's very careful.
He's a clever rabbit.
He's very careful.
He knows what he's about.
But then, I mean, I guess that doesn't rule out him Bioshock Infiniting it.
No.
At least a couple of times. It's just that we wouldn't know.
No, well, exactly. Like... Yeah, that's a disturbing thought.
I'm in a paradoxical loop in my brain now. It's too hot for these kind of...
It is too hot for these types of things.
Ideas. Yeah, they're heavy.
They're deep ideas. These are winter ideas.
So I've written specifics of TARDIS, which in our world, for those who can't remember, is time and relative dimension in soil.
Yep.
Because when he was tied to the stake, he was touching soil. And we'd already seen him use that once in the episode to basically send the Native American back to his home.
Yeah.
And then he's already travelled there and hopped into his quiver.
Yeah.
So we know he had the powers at this point. He's good to go. And it's confirmed again later on. But he doesn't use that to escape. He has to lift the stake out and run away.
I don't think it was that he can't. I was thinking that he just chose not to.
Because I was wondering, if it was that he would be able to sink into the soil as far as the ropes would let him, but the stake wouldn't be going anywhere.
Right. Okay.
So he just and then he can't. It doesn't make him like non-dimensional until he's in this. Until he passes the soil threshold.
Yeah.
So like he could sink his feet in a bit. But the stake and the ropes would still be holding him up. Like, so I think if he's sinking down and you grab his ears, like you can stop him going down.
Yeah, no,
I think you wouldn't be able to pull him up without him wanting to come up.
Well, no, because I think that would be you trying to lift the Earth.
Yeah, because by that point
he's part of it.
He's moving through a portal. Yes. To somewhere else. Like, but. I don't know. That's the impression I got of how it might have to work.
Yeah, because like when I watched it, I was like, oh, why is he doing that? And because that happened before we saw him using that power, and I was like, okay, well maybe he just doesn't have it yet.
Yeah.
But then we do see it pretty much confirmed later on.
But because the other aspect, of course, of the time and relative dimension in soil is that he can travel in time, and he pops up from his hole at one point. He's made a snowball.
Yep.
And it's definitely not snowing where he is. And, there's not snow underground.
No.
So he's nipped off somewhere to go and get some snow to come back and...
To throw a snowball.
Because
he was very confused.
Yeah. He was how have you made a snowball in summer? And he's like, it's too cold to make them in the winter. And I think that's genuinely something he lives by. Because it's like a snowball fight in the winter is good fun.
Yeah.
But it's actually it'd be pleasant in the summer.
Well, of course it is, because
it's too hot. Let's just chuck snow at each other.
Can you imagine if we had a snowball fight now?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
nice that would be.
Baking. I think it was a bit unfair of them to commit it to film and then let us see it in this current heat.
Exactly. But it was just mean.
But it's like the idea of having a snowball fight when it's baking hot. It's lovely.
It's a great idea. In the winter, it's fun, but it's a bit cold.
Yeah,
because your hands get cold.
So I think that's what he meant. I don't think he meant. I don't even think at that point he was trying to convince the Native American that you couldn't make a snowball in the winter.
Yeah, because
I think he just sort of forgot that no one else can just go. And make
you can just nip off and go get some.
It's
snow.
just only he sort of forgot his frame of reference was a bit wrong, and he just forgot that only he can really do that.
Yeah, he did seem to be having fun with it though. That was good.
When he's tied to the stake and he keeps scurrying along a bit. Like rhythmically.
Yeah.
And then the Native American keeps following him bit by bit. And then Bugs stops and the Native American just keeps going rhythmically off into the distance. And then Bugs goes, like, what a maroon.
Yeah.
Like, as if to mean, like, what a moron or what a kook. Now, when we watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, we did wonder, just because of the nature of what like maroon toons were like, if the really sort of broken and insane cartoons like wind up at maroon, or at least if they're viewed in some sort of negative light by other toons to an extent.
And it does seem that way from that statement. You know, he's saying, "Oh, what a maroon." To that guy, it's like, okay,
it's like he belongs out there. He belongs.
Yeah, it's almost like a slur against. Like, you know, those types of tunes.
Yeah, where it's just like, you know, they're less bright. They're a bit all over the shop. I mean, the Looney Tunes are pretty bad, but like, so like, I think Daffy like is the kind of person who at this point in history might be called a maroon.
Yes.
Like, but he's oddly savvy as well. It seems to be reserved.
It works for him though. Like he does it quite well. He pulls it off.
Yeah, it seems to be reserved for insane toons who like aren't that bright either.
Yes,
because like Roger Rabbit's funny, but he's not smart.
No, whereas Daffy is.
Yeah,
like, but that's what makes him dangerous.
That's what's scary about him. That's what makes him a
genuinely terrifying person.
Genuinely terrifying, but oddly not a villain.
No,
he still keeps it together.
Yeah, he does.
High functioning sociopath.
He is still my favourite though.
Yeah. At one point, the Native American jumps into Bugs's rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And like off camera, we don't see exactly what goes on. Bugs jumps out, and the guy comes up with a bow in his hair, and it looks a lot like Minnie Mouse's bow.
It really does.
And it's interesting, like, you know, it's interesting because that, like, nothing like that, no reference like that has popped up until post 1947 when we saw when we watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So it's like, is it that they know that there's archive footage of interdimensional toon stuff, so now they can sort of get away with it a bit?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, we don't have to pretend anymore.
Yeah, but like now that it is a recognisable thing, I think we're probably going to see it cropping up a bit more often.
But like, because I think over time we'll see it crop up a lot, and then over time maybe die down a bit.
Yeah,
because they definitely started keeping it secret again, pretending again.
Well,
because
we don't know about it.
Otherwise, you know, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
But there was definitely a period where it was sort of acceptable, or at least known, and that interdimensional travel was possible to an extent.
Yes.
And I think during this period, I think we'll see some interdimensional, you know, jabs and gags.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they, how those things are going to manifest.
Yeah.
I'm quite looking forward to it.
The last thing I noticed in this episode, which was about when you fell asleep, was the Storks are no longer on strike.
Yes, I saw the Storks.
But they might be overdoing it a bit, like overcompensating a tad, which, like, I
guess...
Maybe
they're just clearing the backlog.
Maybe. So at the end, Bugs points upwards and goes, to the Indian and goes, look, look skyward.
Yeah.
And he's having 3
kids
delivered, and he faints, presumably because of the standard Tooniversal fear of responsibility.
Yeah, so I can't deal with that.
But then Bugs, looking up and like having a good chuckle at that situation, sees, I would say, 60 to 70 storks with baby Bugses.
Oh God,
going on.
He's got a big family now.
But when you say, like, I like the idea that they're clearing the backlog.
Yeah.
Because do you think Bugs, knowing that there was a stork strike, just went,
start putting it about?
Start putting it about.
I wouldn't, because he'd be going at it like rabbits, wouldn't he?
Well, like one rabbit at least.
So I mean,
he could travel in time, so he could
really put it about.
Yeah.
No, I reckon that's it. I reckon there's just been a backlog, and all of a sudden it's like it's been tallying up, and he's like, my numbers just come up. Bollocks.
Either that, or like he puts it about all the time.
Yeah.
But like he's never really in the right place to receive a kid. Like whatever poor lass receives the kid. But this time, because it's a backlog, and they're all his, presumably by many different rabbits, they've gone, well, we've got to keep up with this. We've got to catch up with this backlog, like, while also doing our usual responsibilities. He is he's the common denominator
he's the
across
focus
all
point
of these. So why don't we just deliver them all to him?
Yes.
And, like,
he can sort it out.
He can sort it out admin-wise. And so
God.
Bugs has been landed with about 70 kids at this point.
Yeah.
Due to a
think-
gung-ho attitude during the Stork Strike of
Yeah.
1947, I reckon.
Yeah,
And
he
we'll
needs
see
to-
how that pans out for him.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
he
are
needs to watch
they
himself.
going to have amazing powers?
Well, that's it.
Because I think he probably hopes not.
Yeah, because it's whether or not Toon powers are hereditary or not. I mean, like we have talked about this.
Yeah,
before.
we decided evil was hereditary.
Yeah, but I don't think we decided whether or not the Toon powers were hereditary or not.
Yeah, because in the Killer's Kid era, we decided pretty conclusively
That evil was
that being an asshole is hereditary.
Yeah,
Um,
passes down to your kids.
yeah, we don't know about the rest of it.
No,
We will just have to see. But like because the trouble is, in addition to Bugs being able to time travel and move about, like the notion that there'd be 70 more
that could be
of a similar demeanor to
Yeah.
Bugs,
that could cause some problems.
that could cause a lot of
Maybe-
issues.
Maybe he offs them.
Yeah, that was really my worry. I mean, his first course of action was to faint.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like we know Bugs is capable of some dark things, but I suppose it's possible that he might just use his time travel ability to correct the problem.
It's absolutely possible. But I mean, do you think he remembers all of those
them?
lessons?
Probably not.
Probably
There was
not.
a lot of kids there.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids there.
Yeah, I
And
don't
there
know.
definitely is. I was looking.
Yeah,
at them.
yeah.
So, I mean, we haven't covered that many episodes today. I think it's
No.
going to be a shorter one than we've been used to.
But we have covered a lot of ground.
But
I
we've
think.
covered a lot of ground in that last one, and I think the sort of cliffhanger almost of an unconscious Bugs Bunny who's just received 70 children in the post
Yeah,
is a good place to finish our episode 1.
yeah. No, I
And,
think it is.
You know, a good grounding for whatever horrible arc is about to come out of this. Because it was like we sort of like
Bugs and his kids.
47 took us to the end of the Despot Porky arc.
Yeah,
And, you know, although we had some things brewing, we didn't really know which one was going to particularly take, except for obviously the overarching journey to the good 1995 trainer advert Space Jam.
yeah.
1995? 96.
Yeah,
When I said that, it felt wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure
it was released different times, different places.
Yeah.
But yeah.
the old days.
Yeah,
Where
when
you didn't just get everything at the same time.
Like it wasn't just worldwide release.
Yeah,
it was like
we'll get to see that movie in 6 months.
yeah.
Yeah. What hell?
I know. I'm so glad that it was just worldwide release now. Makes things so much better.
Yeah. So yeah, I reckon that's a good place to leave it, and
I think so.
we'll resume next week. If you want more of my sweet tones, go and check out Merely Role Players, where I'm taking part in a spy thriller and doing a bad accent throughout. Or go and check out The Prestige over on kaiju.fm and hear me try and convince Rob that Wes Anderson is at least vaguely worth his time. And apart from that, I think we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Bye!